3 true clown stories. Here you go.
A lot of you guys wanted a part 2 to the clown stories, so I figured with all the clown stuff still going on, this would be the best time to do one more of these. 3 days ago, I had an encounter with one of those crazy clowns that everyone's hearing about lately.
Okay,
Most people are running into them on the road in the safety of their cars. I, however, had a much more disturbing encounter. I live in Massachusetts. My property is enclosed by trees with a long, winding driveway leading to the road. During the day, I was cutting down a drooping branch from a tree above the entrance to my property. That's when I first saw him. A clown. Or a guy dressed as a clown, I should say, walking down the side of the road and stopping very slowly right at the center of the start of my driveway. He very gradually turned his head to face me, body still facing the road.
You're fucking
I had to give him credit. His clown costume was terrifying. The mask left horror movie status. I chuckled to myself and smiled in his direction. Judging by everyone else's experiences, I was expecting him to start bluff charging me, but he didn't. He just turned his head back to the road and kept walking.
What the fuck are you meaning?
I would have said something, but I guess I just didn't care enough. That night I did my usual locking up of the shed outside and shutting off all the lights. When I got inside to start making dinner, I thought I heard something coming from outside. I opened the kitchen window a little more, but all I could hear was the wind and leaves blowing. I shut the window completely now and resumed making the food. I almost had a heart attack when there was a heavy, aggressive knocking coming from that same window I just shut. My whole body immediately went into panic mode. I felt every body part shaking, and my heart thumping twice as much than usual.
Can I give you advice?
I took the knife I had sitting on the counter and brought myself to look out the window, but it was literally too dark to even see past the glass. Once again, I struggled to sum up the courage to do something I felt needed to be done, which was this time to turn on the patio light and go outside. So I walked over to the back sliding glass door in my kitchen, put my finger under the light switch, afraid to flick it, waiting for a good 5 seconds, and finally did it. The horror I was afraid to experience out there came prematurely before I could even step outside. The patio light exposed the same clown from earlier, standing right outside the sliding glass door, head tilted like a dog, staring at me behind the ugly mask. I could have and probably should have opened the door there and then and stabbed the guy, or at least threatened him.
Run!
But it's so easy to think back and say I should have done that.
Just run!
Instead, I simply ran upstairs to the telephone where I called the police. I could hear banging on the heavy glass door downstairs all the way up from my bedroom. And it got worse, as the clown started pounding with both hands repeatedly as opposed to the slow and steady knocking he was giving before. It got the worst when the clown started screaming like a psychotic asylum patient over the sounds of the pounding on the door. I felt like I was going to die. Literally every minute that went by that the cops hadn't arrived yet felt like 5 minutes.
That would be
The
so
screaming and
horrific.
banging finally came to a stop when I heard a familiar voice outside yelling, "What the hell are you doing?" and "Get the fuck out of here." I looked out the window to see Marv, my neighbor, walking over with a rifle in his hand. When I went outside to greet and thank him, he told me the clown ran off into the woods. The cops arrived briefly after that and took down my description, did a quick 5-minute sweep of the property, and left.
Wow,
Marv let me crash at his place for the night just in case. We don't play with shit when it comes to our well-being and safety. So yeah, at the time I'm sharing this, that was only 3 days ago. In the thought of all this clown stuff going on, especially in my area, I feared for the worst.
Sorry guys,
I covered the light from my phone as I was trying to turn it off, and tiptoed around a big tree to hide. When the sounds got closer, it became obvious that they were footsteps, just as I feared. In the back of my mind, I knew the odds of running into clowns in the woods was next to none. I just also wanted to avoid contact with anyone in the woods at this hour. It soon became apparent that there were 2 people walking by. I tried to remain as quiet as possible, hoping they didn't see the light. These 2 people weren't talking at all, though. I could only hear their shoes hitting the leaves on the trail. Woods, and here it was happening now. I knew they would have seen the light, that's why they were stopped. They knew I was hiding somewhere, The question was, what were they going to do to me? It was
First
the most
you should
tense
call
moment
the
of my
fucking
life.
police on
However,
them.
it only lasted maybe 20
And they
seconds.
just run.
Then I heard the two clowns continue walking down the trail. When they were far enough away, I hopped up and ran for the other side of the woods, not caring how much noise I made. My house was across the
that's a
street
good
from the
idea.
woods, so as soon as I made it
I'm just
across,
gonna
I was
run in the
basically home.
woods. I don't care how
My
much
mom was already
noise you're
asleep
gonna
by
do.
then,
What the
so I
fuck?
went around back and unlocked the back door with our secret key. I made a point of locking the door right away and shutting the blinds. I walked over to the living room, about to shut those blinds, when I noticed the clowns across the street, standing by the edge of the woods, facing my house.
Oh God!
I couldn't tell if they were actually staring at me or not, but they were just still like statues, and I'm sure they were trying to scare me.
Fucking clown! I don't see
I woke
none.
my mom, and she went to go
I don't
check
see
it out.
another nigga.
But just like in any horror movie, the clowns were gone, meaning I was the only one who actually saw them. I tried to go to sleep, and given that I was still buzzed, kind of helped ease me into a sleepy state.
He's
In my
drunk.
bed, after facing the wall for a while, I got uncomfortable, so I flipped over to the other side,
How
where I
are
had a
you
view of my whole
drunk?
room. Even though I was tired, I had trouble keeping my eyes closed, simply because I couldn't stop thinking about those clowns. What if they were out there right now?
Pony and stuff.
The curiosity was killing me to the point where I wanted to get up and look out my window.
Dumbass.
The sound of the thud on the window was like the sound of death to my ears. I knew what it was, and I didn't
Call the
move.
fucking police.
I closed my eyes and pretended to be asleep. I ignored it. Still not moving an inch. The thuds were getting more intense, and I feared they would break open the window. I finally took a look at the window, and under the blinds, the section that wasn't blocked, I saw a clown with his head to the side, looking at me laying in my bed. That was all it took for me to break down screaming, running to my mom's room and crying to her that there was a clown outside my window like a baby.
Fucking mom.
She took me very seriously and took the pepper spray she had under the bed, marched over to my bedroom window, and once again, the clown was gone. My mom believed me, of course. She is my mom, after all. She didn't give me some cliched horror movie bullshit like I'm just seeing things or I had too much to drink. No, she really believed me. In fact, she called the cops the next day and reported that there were clowns in the area harassing us. But that wasn't the end of it. Last night, I once again saw a clown standing across the street by the woods again, staring at my house. I still feel sick and paranoid about all of this. However, I'm planning on getting a picture or video of it the next time it happens to prove this is all true.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments, how did you like this video? Thank you for watching.